Hello and welcome back. I'm Sean with Bacon and Games, and this is the 5th video in our Snake Code Along series. If you're just joining us, there are links to the previous videos in the description down below. At this stage, our game logic is mostly complete, but we still have to create menus and a score before we can call this a fully functional game. Since we ended the last video by detecting when the snake crashes into itself, let's start this one by building the game over screen. We're going to use a node that we haven't used yet. Select Other Node and search for Canvas Layer. We'll start by adding a panel. This panel node is going to serve as the background for our menu, but it's also going to define some layout properties. We'll start by setting this anchor preset to full rect, which will make sure that it takes up our entire screen. In the inspector, let's expand the visibility section. Click on Modulate and drag the alpha down a little bit. This will make our background a little bit transparent so we can see through to the game behind it. Next, let's add an HBox container and also set this to full rect. Then we'll add a VBox container and set it to expand horizontally. We'll set our VBox container to centered and our HBox to centered as well. This will center all of our control nodes both horizontally and vertically inside of our menu. Let's add a label. This will be our menu's heading. We'll enter Game Over. Under Theme Overrides, let's select font sizes and make it nice and big. Under Colors, let's turn on our shadow. And under Constants, let's make the shadow a little bit more prominent. We're going to add 2 more labels and 2 buttons. One label to show our final score, another label to show whether that final score is a hide score, as well as 2 buttons, one to restart and another to quit. We'll want to make sure these are coming in as children of the VBox container, not the label. So let's select VBox container and add our nodes now. Let's call this score label. We'll call this high score label. And these will be restart button and quit button. For now, let's default score to score:0. We'll make high score label read new high score. And let's give the restart button its text and the quit button its text. While designing a very intricate game over screen is outside of the scope of this project, I want to do a few things to clean this up a bit. First, let's center both the score labels. Let's make the score a little bit bigger. And let's change the color of the high score label. If we'd like our buttons to look more like buttons and sit side by side, we can put them inside a grid container. Select VBox container, search for grid. Let's drag both of our buttons in here. And with them both selected, let's come into Layout and set a custom minimum width of 150. If we want them to sit side by side, we'll need to give the grid container 2 columns, and to center them, select the grid container and set the horizontal alignment to centered. The last thing I'd like to do is put a little separation between our buttons and our text because everything's feeling a little bit cramped right now. Select the VBox container and let's search for margin container. We can drag our grid container inside of our margin container. Then, with the margin container selected, we can come into Theme Overrides and give it a little bit of margin on top. Let's say 25 pixels. It may not be the prettiest game over screen that you've ever seen, but everything that we need is here. Let's rename this to Game Over, and let's save this. Let's save this in our menus folder. I'm going to get rid of this exclamation point because it feels too angry. And then with our root node selected, let's attach a script. I'm going to name it Game Over and save it in our menus folder. Now that we have all the nodes we need, let's start wiring things up. First, we're not going to need any of this. Next, I'm going to select the 4 nodes that we'll be working with so that we can bring them in as onReady variables. I'm going to command click and set all of these to unique name. I find the unique name to be particularly important when working with control nodes because you're often moving them around, adding margins, changing containers. As a result, you can very easily break the paths to these nodes. I'm going to drag in, hold Control before I release, and now we have our 4 nodes. I'm going to shorten the names to save us some typing. Because none of these nodes are using custom classes, we don't need to worry about typing as label or as button to cast them. Our code completion will be intact. Let's start by connecting to our 2 button signals. Select Restart, Node, and look for the pressed signal. We want to connect it to our Game Over script. Let's do the same with our Quit button. In a simple game like this, if we want to restart, we can reload our current scene, which we can do by calling getTree.reloadCurrentScene. This solution won't work for all projects, but in a single scene game like this, reloading the scene will reset everything. And to quit, we can call getTree.quit, which will close the window. It's worth noting that calling quit on something running in a web browser will have no effect. Next, let's set up our getScore function. We'll call this when the game ends to pass our score variable into the game over screen. Inside of our setScore function, let's set our score text equal to final score colon the score that we passed in, which we'll need to cast to a string because we're adding it to another string. Later, this is where we'll compare our final score to our saved high score and display the high score field if necessary, and also overwrite the older higher score. Now, let's return to our gameplay scene and look at how we can pull this in. You could include your game over screen and have it hidden by default, but I prefer to instantiate it as needed. Let's create a constant, call it game over scene. Let's go into our menu, grab our scene, drag, control, click, and release. I'm also going to create a variable called GameOverMenu of type GameOver. When we instantiate our GameOver scene, we're going to store it in this value. That will allow us to check whether a GameOver scene already exists, and if so, not spawn another one or recall the existing one. Now, let's come down to our onTail_collided and check whether our GameOverMenu is still null. If not GameOverMenu, meaning if we haven't added anything to this variable, then we're free to instantiate a new one. Just like we did with our food, we're going to instantiate it and cast it to game over, store it in our game over menu, and add the child to our gameplay node. Since we're not actually tracking a score yet, let's go back up to the top of our class, create a score variable of int initialized to 0, and each time we eat a piece of food, let's add 1 to our score. Now, when the game ends, we can call our setScore and pass in our score. And there we go. We are seeing final score 7. However, you'll notice the game is still going. I can still play. I can still eat food. Let's fix that now. Going back into our game over script, to pause the game while the game over menu is up, we're going to make use of Godot's built-in notification method. Godot objects are pre-subscribed to these engine-level callbacks. The ones we care about are enter tree and exit tree. These notifications fire when a node is added to the scene tree or removed from it. The notification function receives an integer in the form of this what variable that corresponds to these more human-readable constants, in this case, notification enter tree and notification exit tree. If you've never seen a match statement, they work a lot like if-else blocks. This is roughly the same as this. In plain English, this will pause our game when the game over scene enters the scene tree by setting getTree.pause to true and setting that back to false when it's removed. There's one more thing we need to do in order for this to pause our game when the game over screen comes up. First, let's make sure we're in our game over scene. Let's select the root node, come into Process, and change Mode Inherit to Mode Always. If we don't do this, the game over screen itself will be paused as well, and we won't be able to interact with any of the buttons to restart or quit the game. Now we can save and test the game.
A few moments later.
Now when we crash, the game is paused. You'll also notice that our restart button is working, as is our quit button. Great, so our game over screen is working. Now we can repeat this process to create our start screen. Let's go to Scene, New Scene, Other Node, and again, search for Canvas Layer. Let's rename this to Start Screen, add our panel, and set it to Full Rect. Since our start screen will never be appearing over anything else, we don't need to change the modulation so that we can see through it. Let's fast forward through this part since we just did this for our game over screen. Now that we have our start screen set up, let's save it in our menus folder, and let's add a script. Again, let's drag in our references. We don't need our process, but we are going to use our ready function. Once we have our save game set up, this is where we'll find out what the highest score is and set it here. For right now, we'll just hard code a value of 0. And of course, let's wire up our signals. Our quit button is going to be the same here as it was in our game over screen. Our start button, however, is going to be a little bit different. Since our start screen is going to be responsible for loading our gameplay scene, we're going to need a reference to our gameplay scene. And because in our game over screen, we're using this built-in function to reload the current scene, we need to make sure that we use the built-in function change scene to packed in order to replace the current scene with a new scene. This method works fine for small to medium-sized games. For larger projects, you're likely going to want a much more robust scene manager that handles things like background loading, transitions, and passing data between scenes. If you're interested in a one-off video showing how I do that in some of my other projects, leave a comment down below. So far, when we've been starting our project, it's been going directly into our gameplay scene. Now that we have a start screen, we want to go into our project settings. Under Run, we're going to want to change this from Gameplay to Start Screen. Now, when we run our project, instead of loading the gameplay scene, it's going to load our start screen. And if we click our start button is going to load our game. And our game over screen is going to allow us to restart or quit. Before we wrap this up, let's make our pause menu. We're going to set things up so that if the player presses the escape key, it will pause the game and allow them to quit or return. We'll also set the game up to detect whether the game has lost focus, meaning the player has clicked outside of the game window, so that we can pause the game in that scenario as well. One more time, we're going to go to Scene, New Scene, find our canvas layer, add a panel. We do want this one to be transparent because it's going to show up over top of our game when paused. And I'm going to speed through this as well, since now we've done this twice. That's all we're going to need for our pause menu. Let's go to Canvas Layer, rename this to Pause Menu, and save it in our Menus folder. Let's add our script, grab our references. We don't need either of these. Let's wire up our signals. On the resume button, we're just going to call QFree, which will just remove this from memory. And the next time the pause menu is needed, we'll just recreate it. Actually, let's make this a restart button. Someone's probably more likely to want to restart from that menu than quit. So we'll just put our same reload current scene here. And the same as we did with the game over screen, we're going to leverage these notifications to pause the game. We have to remember to select our pause menu, and in the inspector, set our process mode to always so that we don't pause the pause menu. And then we can save. In our gameplay scene, we can use the notification function again to detect when the game has lost focus. Since there's going to be more than one way to pause the game, let's create a new function called pause game. And we'll declare that function down here. We're going to use the same technique of checking whether we've assigned something to our pause menu variable. If we haven't, we can instantiate our pause menu scene and add it to the scene. We can see this in action by testing our game and clicking outside the window. Now the game is paused. I can hit resume to replay, and we do have to go back into our pause menu and rename this restart. The last thing that we're going to do for this video,
Hey, listen!
when we rename this quit button, we broke this. So let's just re-pull this in. Let's see. There we go. The last thing we're going to do is let the player call and dismiss the pause menu with the escape key. First, we actually are going to use our process function. So let's grab process here. And we're going to say if input action just pressed UI cancel, which by default is mapped to the escape key, we're going to queue free. And the other place we're going to need this is in our gameplay script. Anywhere in our process function, we can do the same thing, except instead of calling queue free, we're going to call pause game. Now, if I run this, hit start, and press the escape key, the game pauses. If I press the escape key again, it resumes. I can also still click the resume button, and I can also still restart. I know I mentioned at the top of this video that we were going to build the HUD, but one, I think this is a good place to stop this video, and two, I think building the HUD will pair nicely with designing our save system that will load and save our high scores. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you spending your time with me. If you've learned something or you just want to help me reach more makers like yourself, please consider liking or subscribing. And until next time, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Take care.